All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Modern Agent Blueprint. And we're super excited to have you with us today. And today we have a special guest, and I'm going to let Nicole introduce him. He has a mega team and is a real estate rock star. So go ahead, Nicole. Let's take it away.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you guys. And for everyone who's watching live too, thank you so much. We do stream this live on Facebook. So there's probably some people on there too. So I want to introduce you guys to Phil Stringer. So Phil and I met when we were in Dallas at the Build event, and he is the COO of a brokerage in North Carolina. He's also with eXp Realty, and he is, I'm reading his, bio here that he sent me. So what he specializes in helping agents build their businesses through systems and processes and automations, lead generation, time management, goal setting, all of the above, all the things that we as realtors need in our lives. On the side, he also is a musician and vocalist, and he has an amazing voice. So thank you so much, Phil. We talked a little bit about kind of what you were going to talk about today, and you had so many good ideas, but we thought with yesterday being the first day of Q4 that we should just dive right into Q4 goals and how to stick to them and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to let you take it from here.
Yeah, thank you so much. Great to be on. Thank you so much for having me. As Nicole said, yesterday was essentially day one, being a business day of Q4. And so as real estate agents, we know that how we're doing right now is a result of essentially what we did 60 days ago. And so if you're getting commission checks in and everything's great, then that's amazing, because 60 days ago you were grinding and hustling. And how you're going to do 60 days from now is a result of what you're doing today. And so not only do we want to talk about how to set Q4 goals, but we want to talk about essentially how we're going to set up your 2023 with what you're doing in October and November. Like, this is such an important time, because not only are you closing out your year, and this is the last opportunity that you have to hit those goals that you've set for 2022, but what you're doing today, what you're doing in October and November is going to directly result in how you launch 2023. And so into essentially how we're going to hit those goals and what we're going to do. So I'm going to share my screen here and we'll get a little presentation going for you. All right, so we've got how to implement a Q4 strategy. So this is creating and sticking to your goals. Now, here's the very important part. And if you miss this, you're going to miss the whole thing, because you have to view all of this information in the correct framework. Okay. That I share for individual agents, but also for large teams. So all of this information will work for just a solo agent. And the information will also work if you have a team of 5, a team of 10, a team of 100. Okay. But you have to take this information and view it in the lens of where you are in your business right now. So if you're just a solo agent and you don't even have a VA, you don't have any employees, all of this information, when I say your organization or the people in your organization or your team, that organization, those people in your organization, that's just you right now. Okay. So you have to view it through that lens, and it will all make sense, of course. So I'm going to do a quick introduction. Again, who I am: Phil Stringer, COO of a brokerage mega team in North Carolina. I wanted to put my social media handles up here for you. So Facebook's Phil Stringer. Instagram, you can find me at Phil Stringer. And then on TikTok, Phil.Stringer. And I'm going to be sharing some tools with you, some documents that I use to help with goal setting and with creating a business plan. And so instead of worrying about like trying to take a screenshot of them or taking a picture with your phone, if you just message me on Instagram after this, I will send you the actual files of those documents. So don't stress about like having to take a picture. I can get it all sent to you in an email. So that's why I put my handles up there, so you can just reach out to me on social media and I will get all of that info to you. So the way that I like to start all of my meetings. Okay, so anyone who is active in the room right now, if you have your camera on, I'm going to ask you to just do one thing for me. Tell me, of course, your name, and then what you do. So if you're on a team or if you're a solo agent, if you've got a VA, if you have 5 people on your team, if you have an assistant, tell me the size of your team. And again, if you're just a solo agent, tell me you're a solo agent. But what I want you to do is I want you to tell me business, or it can just be something personal. But I start off all of my meetings through this framework, and I'll explain why in a bit. So I'm going to start with Lee. Lee, if you can unmute and tell me, who you are, what you do, and then a piece of good news from it.
Yeah, so my name's Lee Moratis. I'm actually the co-founder of the Modern Agent Blueprint, and my wife and I run a collaboration team, not a personal production team, at eXp Realty. We have just about 200 agents in our group, and my job, my wife is the production. She's the one that's doing, in the trenches, doing all the deals, and I'm the one that helps with lead systems, collaboration, and I help our agents grow their teams. And we have 2 VAs now that help us. They're instrumental in helping us grow and really handle all the functions of everything that we do. So like, for example, when we're done with this meeting, my VA will take the recording, turn it into YouTube, distribute it, chop it up, use it for promotional materials, all those things. So the good news of the day is I had a really good meeting with a really big team that's thinking about making the move to joining us. So that's my good news.
Awesome. That's awesome. All right, Nicole, give us who you are and a piece of good news.
Yeah. So I'm Nicole. I am a single agent wanting to grow into a team. I hired and fired a VA in 2 weeks. So I'm on the look for another one. I actually have a meeting with somebody tomorrow to talk about cold calling because I don't want to do that. So I'm going to have a VA do that. And I have good news. Okay, let's see. Good news for the day. I changed my hair. I'm getting used to that right now. And I don't know. I think it's a good change, right? Is that good news? I don't know.
It's a good move. Of course. Yeah, of course it's good news. That's great news. All right, Miss Kara.
So I am a solo agent. I do have a full-time executive admin in-house and going to be working on growing a team. Good news is definitely my ISA started today. So I'm super excited for that, to add that pillar in.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right, Renee.
Don't be bashful.
I'm not trying to be bashful. I was struggling. I closed on my first $1 million property 10 days ago.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you. Are you a solo agent on a team? What's your?
Nope. I'm a solo agent, 6.5 years into the business.
Awesome. Good for you.
Thank you.
All right. If we've got anyone else, Ashley, are you? I don't know if Ashley, if you're on here. There she is. Tell us who you are and give us one piece of good news from the week.
My name is Ashley Smith. I am a solo agent. I closed the deal yesterday, but it was not $1 million. But hey, that is gold. Definitely gold. And something good. I don't think I have anything good.
Oh, there's always something good. There's always something good. How about those glasses? Those glasses are good.
I'll do something personal. I was tested for cancer and I am cancer free. So
hey,
that was
awesome.
my good. I got my news yesterday.
Yeah.
So I'll take that as a good win. So,
I love it.
Ashley.
Yay, I love it. Awesome. A piece of good news. If not, we'll move on. All right. I'm going to move on. My piece of good news, I hired a nutrition coach and I'm 3 weeks in, and it has been quite a journey, but learning how to completely do something new, totally new diet and new lifestyle, but it's been an amazing 3 weeks so far. So it's good news for me. But the reason I do that is because one, it gets everyone engaged, but two,
Are we losing him?
I think we did.
I was like, am I freezing or is it him? We'll give him a second. Uh-oh. Well. Uh-oh, he's gone. Oh no. All right, well, we'll wait for a second for him to get back on. Was it going out a little bit for you guys too, or was it just me?
Yeah, he
Okay,
was
I
cutting
thought it
off
was
a
my
little bit.
internet. I was like, I kept checking my internet. I'm like, is it me? Am I the
I
problem?
texted him and told him though that he keeps going out. So hopefully he'll
Oh,
come.
Here he
here,
goes.
he's coming back in now.
We had a guest once where his power went out. He was in
Yeah.
the middle of his presentation. His
I remember
Can you guys hear me
grand
now?
power went out, yeah.
Yeah, you were cutting out a little bit here and there, and then you were just gone.
Just dropped. Okay, well, gotta love Spectrum Internet. So we're gonna we're gonna jump back in. Okay,
right,
so
We left off, kind of just start that whole little segment off again, if you wouldn't mind.
yeah, so the reason that I do good news is because it gets everyone engaged, for one, but two, it's good to start thinking about positive things. Sometimes we don't focus on enough of the positive, and we focus on the gap, of course, of where we are and where we want to be, or where we are and where our goal is. And so when we set a goal, we're great at setting goals because goals are dreams. We're great at saying, hey, I want to do this year. We're not as great at putting an action plan together to get to that goal. And then what happens is when we don't put the action plan together and we don't have the discipline of getting to that goal, we begin to think about the negative things that have gone on. And we begin to think of the negative feeling of, I haven't gotten to my goal, right? So it's good to start off meetings. It's good to start off your day,
Oh no. Not again. Well. Sorry, guys. I don't know what keeps happening. We're losing you. I think it's when you're like this. I wonder if the screen share is messing things up here.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
We can hear you now.
That's so weird. Okay, so when I don't screen share, you can hear me.
I think so.
Well, we can try it again. So sorry, guys.
No worries.
Okay. So it's just good to think about a positive thing when you start your week, you start your day. And with goals, you have to think about the gains that you've made in your life, where you are now from where you were last year or last week or last month is such an important thing. So the reason that we do all of this, the reason you're on this call, the reason why you do training, the reason you set goals in the first place is to increase your business, right? It's to take it from one level to the next. You're not comfortable being where you are. You want to get somewhere new. And so that's why we set goals, right? To increase our business. So I'm going to start off with the framework of how business increases. And once I get done explaining all of these things, it's going to make sense at the end. Again, you have to view it through the framework of where you are. If you're a solo agent, view it through a solo agent framework. But your business increases with three things, okay? One is having vision. You have to have vision in order for your organization, your business, your team to increase. Number two is gaining traction, okay? You can't just have vision. You can't just put a goal out there and have a dream. You have to put an action plan together to gain traction so that you're actually moving towards that goal, that vision, that dream. Okay. And then number 3 is being healthy. And I'll explain what these 3 things mean in detail. So having vision essentially is 100% clarity with where you're going in the future. So it's getting everyone on the same page and communicating your plan to achieve the vision. So if you're a team leader, or you have a team, or if you have just one VA, or you have 5 people on your team, you have to have 100% clarity with where you want to go in the future in order to set a goal. And you have to make sure that every single person in your organization is on the same page and communicating that plan clearly to achieve that vision. Now, think about this if you're a solo agent. You don't have a team, right? Do you realize that you have to have 100% clarity with where you're going with yourself? And you have to communicate with yourself your plan to achieve the vision. If you don't have that 100% clear, even just with you, you're going to be confused. You're not going to know what to do, where to go. How many of you guys have set goals and then you look back at the quarter and you say, man, I didn't even accomplish anything? Why? Because you weren't clear exactly on the action plans to take, the steps to take in order to get to that vision. So you have to communicate it to yourself as well, not just your team. Gaining traction. Again, gaining traction is instilling discipline and accountability so that the vision is fully executed. It's so easy to set a goal. It's so easy to have a vision for your business and then write it down as a vision, and then never instilling the day-to-day disciplines that it takes and the accountability that it takes to get to that step. And so that's why so many people set goals, but most of them don't hit the goals, because it's easier to set them and then not instill that discipline to get there. And then being healthy is creating a more cohesive, functional, open and honest, fun-loving environment in your business. So if you have a team, this is your culture in your team, right? We hear about culture all the time, how it's like to work on your team. What's the vibe like? What's the feel like? How do you treat your people? Is it a family? Now, if you're just a solo agent, being healthy also is very important just for yourself. You do so much better in business when you're healthy in body and in mind. And so don't just think of, oh, well, I don't have a team of 100 people, so I don't need to create a cohesive, functional, open and honest environment for my people. No, but you have to create a cohesive, functional, open and honest environment for yourself. And if you don't create that for yourself, you're doing yourself a disservice. So these 3 things are so important. You've got to have vision. You've got to know what your goals are. You've got to know where you want to go. You have to gain traction because you have to instill that discipline to get there. And then you have to be healthy in mind and body. You have to have an environment that's open and honest, that's realistic, and something that you're going to feel comfortable in so that you can work and be your best. Okay. So I want to go to another slide here, and I want to talk about your business, because there are things that you can do to increase your business, and there are things that you can do to be a detriment. So ultimately, the goal is to get to a point where you strengthen every piece of your business. There are 6 key components, and this is a model that I walk through with all of my coaching clients, all of my agents. I walk through this model, and it's an entrepreneurial operating system that Gino Wickman started. And I use that as a framework, as the base to gauge essentially where you are in business, what goals you need to set, because you can set goals and they're the wrong goals to set, and what areas you need to strengthen in yourself and in your business in order to reach your maximum potential. It's kind of like working out. Like, you have to be consistent, right? If you want your body composition to change, you have to be consistent in your diet and your exercise, but you can also work out the wrong way, right? If you went to the gym and you only worked out your arms, right? Like, you have to strengthen multiple components of your body. And you have to strengthen multiple components of your business if you want to succeed. So there's 100+ issues in business that you can run into. Okay. There are so many issues. If you guys think of an issue that you've run into, you've probably run into several just today, right? But all of those issues fall into place because they're really just symptoms of a deeper root cause, okay? Every single issue that you run into in your business can be categorized within 6 key components of your business. And I'm going to show you the 6, okay? So the idea here is if you have 6 key components to your business and all issues arise from those 6 key components, if you can strengthen all 6 of those components of your business, then what you're doing is you're eliminating most symptoms from ever occurring. You're not going to eliminate all problems because problems come up. But if you can strengthen the root of these 6 key components, then what you're doing is you're eliminating most issues from ever coming up because your key components are so strong. And so we spend a whole lot of time putting out a ton of small fires when issues arise, rather than figuring out that what's starting the fire in the first place is a root issue and eliminating that root issue so that the fire never happens. We run ourselves to the ground putting out a ton of fires, and we don't have time for the things that really matter in our business because we haven't strengthened those 6 key components of our business so that those fires never come up. And so I want to go through the 6 components. The first component here is vision, okay? So this vision component, again, like I said in the previous slide, is getting everyone on the same page, even if it's just you, 100% on the same page with where you're going and how you plan to get there. Okay, this is goal setting for sure. So there are 2 tools that I use that help strengthen the vision component. And I'm going to show you guys the tools that I use to strengthen each component after I show you all of these components. Okay, so vision is component number 1. Second key component is people. Okay, very simply put, you cannot achieve a great vision without great people. It can't be done. So the truth is now, every organization defines great people in a different way. So a great person in my organization might be a different type of great people definition in, say, Kara's organization, right? And so we have to define what makes for great people in our unique situation, in our unique organization. And by doing this, essentially, this is setting core values and setting core values and setting a mission statement. And I know that sounds kind of cliche, like, oh, core values, yeah, it's just or a mission statement is just a saying, but nobody lives by it. So here's the thing. You have to create core values. Even if you're a solo agent, you need to come up with up to 5 core values of what you would hire someone to, if you were to hire someone, and what you would fire someone to. So if you have up to 5 core values and you say, look, anyone I bring into my organization, I want them to be this, 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 and this. And guess what? If they don't hit all 5 of those things, then I would fire them, right? Your core values, even if you're a solo agent, are so important because that is going to lay the framework of who you hire in the future. If you ever hire a VA, if you ever hire an ISA, an assistant, whatever it is, you need that framework put in place so that you don't hire the wrong person. And then the mission statement is going to be, look, this is why we do what we do. This is why I'm an agent, because of this, because I care about helping people do this. You have to have those things in place. As cliche as it sounds, it's literally the foundation of how you're setting your goals. Your goals should reflect your core values and your mission statement, or your goals have no ground, okay? Third key component is the data component, okay? Now, this is running your business on facts, running your business on figures, objective information, rather than feelings, right? Rather than egos and subjective emotions that often drive decision-making in real estate. A lot of times agents will allow feelings or emotions or egos to drive the decision making, when the decision making should be made through data. It should be made through objective information, numbers, figures. And so the data component is one of the 6 key components of your business. All right. So then we have the issues component. Okay. Strengthening the issues component is really just getting good at solving the problems as they arise. Again, solving things at the root, not just the symptom. Okay. So what happens is, if you look at the top of this, what happens when you strengthen the vision, people, and data components at the top, everything becomes transparent and crystal clear, right? Problems, challenges, obstacles, they jump out at you. They jump out at you immediately, because if you make everything crystal clear and you strengthen those 3 areas, you're going to immediately see where you're lacking. You're going to see the issues. You're going to see the problem areas. You're going to see the weaknesses, because you've strengthened those and made those 3 components super crystal clear. So now that issues component, you can get good at solving the problems as they arise. So you can't achieve success if you're not great at setting your problems up as they arise and then knocking them down and making them go away for good. Right? You're going to spend so much time in your business just trying to put out little fires and pick weeds without making them go away for good at the root of the issue. Okay. 5th key component then is the process component. So the process component, this is super important. If you can strengthen your process component, this is essentially getting all of the most important stuff in your business done the right way and the best way every single time, so that you're leveraging your time. Okay. This creates consistency. It creates scalability in your business, and it makes it much more easy to manage. It makes it much more profitable. It makes it much more fun, because there's not this stress of, man, I don't really have a process for that. If you can get in a rhythm with a process and everything falls in this repeatable, scalable process, then you, if your goal is to scale your business, you have the ability to scale it, and not just, oh man, I've got to do this and I've got to do this, and everything is all over the place because there's no process. Okay. And then the last key component of a business is the traction component. So this is all about bringing your vision, bringing your dream, bringing your goals down to the ground and executing on that vision every single day, consistently, day in and day out. So this is not a coincidence that vision is at the very top of the chart and that traction is at the very bottom, because if we can't bring our vision down to the ground and execute on it well with traction, vision without traction is a hallucination. Okay. A goal without an action plan is just a dream. And so you have to be able to bring that goal, bring that vision, bring that dream down to the ground, create traction, create an action plan to actually get stuff done. Okay. So those are the 6 key components. And this is all going to make sense. It'll all make sense because if you can strengthen every one of these 6 components of your personal business, whether you're on a team or individual, if you can strengthen those, then all issues, which are just symptoms of a root cause, you're going to eliminate a lot of the issues from coming up in the first place. It's going to save you so much time putting out fires. Okay. So all failed goals are a symptom of one or more of these categories not being as strong as they should be. Every goal that you've set that is a failed goal is a symptom of one or more of these 6 key components not being as strong as they should have been. So if we can strengthen every one of these, then we can get to a place where you can actually not only set a goal, not only set a vision, but actually implement and have it happen, right? You can create traction. So I want to go through, there are 2 tools that I use for every single one of these 6 components, and I'll flip over and show you what they are. Again, if you've jumped on after the beginning, don't worry about taking screenshots or pictures of these documents. You can hit me up on one of those social media handles on the bottom right. I will email you the documents so you have the actual files to use if you want to implement any of these tools. You don't have to implement all of them. Maybe you see one that you're like, man, I want to implement that one document. Implementing any of these will help you strengthen these 6 components. And I'll send you whatever ones you want, and I'm free to share those files. Okay. Moving on to the first tool then. So in the vision component, there is a tool called 8 questions. Okay. This is the framework. This is the bottom line, like groundwork. This document, everything flows from this document, this 8 questions document. And it's called a vision traction organizer. And I'm going to flip over and show you guys what that looks like. But essentially, there are 8 questions on this document that you answer that's going to set your framework for the next 10 years of what you want to accomplish in your business. And then from then on, everything you do flows from that document. Look, you want to get here in 10 years? Okay, then you have to be here at 3 years. Okay, then you have to be here next year in 2023. Okay, if you want to be there in 2023, then you've got to be here in the next 90 days. You see how it kind of works its way backwards. You kind of re-engineer everything, reverse engineer. So I'm going to switch over here and show you what this looks like. So this is the vision traction organizer. Okay, so essentially you have 8 questions on this document. You have your core values. If you have not set up to 5 core values, I would do 3 to 5, no less than 3, no more than 5. The core values of what you would hire to if you hired someone and what you would fire to if you had to fire someone. Set your core values, okay? Core focus then. This is going to be like your mission statement, okay? What is your purpose? What is your cause? What is your passion? Why are you doing this? Outside of just getting a commission check or, making a living, what's your passion? Who are you passionate about? What's your niche, right? Like, why are you doing this? If you fill these 2 things out, this is going to give you a framework for why you do what you do. And if you want to scale your business, you will go back to those 2 things and you'll say, I'm hiring someone and it's based on this. So you're not just hiring based on a feeling, you're hiring based on objective information that's going to give you the right person to be in the right seat, which is very important. Okay. Now, 10-year target. This is super important. You have to know where you want to be in 10 years. So if you were to think about, okay, in 2032, what do I want my revenue to be? How many homes do I want to be selling? Do I want a team? How many people do I want on my team? How many families do I want to serve in my market? How many markets do I want to be in? What percentage of market share do I want to have? What percentage of net profit do I want to be obtaining from my revenue, right? These are all questions that you can answer, but make sure that you're setting a goal that's going to push yourself. This 10-year target should scare you, okay? Like, this should be like, man, in 10 years, I want to do this massive thing. And write it down, put it down so that your 10-year target for 2032 is going to be down, set in stone, okay? So then you go into your marketing strategy from that, okay? You're going to say, okay, what is my target market, right? You may have a niche or a target market that you would like to focus on, that you're good at, right? And then write down 3 unique things that makes you different. What is your unique value proposition? Why would I choose Ashley as an agent over Sarah, right? Come up with 3 things that make you different, that make you unique. And then you can go back to this and say, oh, this is the benefit that I'm bringing to my market, right? This is why I'm different from the next agent or the next person. Write down a proven process. This might be, I have a certain process that I go through, and this is proven, and this is why you should choose me. I'm guaranteed sales, or whatever your proven process is, you can put that in there. Again, it's kind of a unique thing to you. And then a guarantee. What are you guaranteeing your clients? What are you guaranteeing your customers to do, that you're going to do, right? You have to have a guarantee, because what you're doing is you're getting people to know, like, and trust you, right? And you're solving a problem for them. So what is that guarantee? Now, here's the cool thing, and this is how it starts to break down a little bit. You've got your 10-year target put in here, right? Now, what you're going to do is you're going to forecast in 3 years. In 2025, what is the future date? You know, if you were to do this today, you'd write October 4th, 2025 in the future date. What does your revenue need to be at in 3 years for you to be on a trajectory of growth for you to hit your 10-year target? If you had a 10-year target of a certain revenue, and in 3 years you say, man, my revenue needs to be, you know, $10 million in order for me to hit the trajectory that I want to hit in 10 years, then you're going to reverse engineer this and put your revenue in 3 years, your profit. What measurables are you looking at, right? Like, how do you want this to be measured? Do you want it to be measured by profit and revenue? Do you want it to be measured by how many agents you have on your team, how many employees you have on your team? How are you going to measure that, right? And then what does it look like? Like, you can say, I want in 3 years, I want to have 2,000 families served in my market. I want to have 60 agents on my team. I want to have a 35% net profit in 3 years. So go ahead and reverse engineer it and hit your 3-year picture based on this 10-year target. Okay. Now we're going to the other side of the document, and this is going to complete the 8 questions. You're reverse engineering now your 3-year plan into a 1-year plan. So now your future date is October 4th, 2023. Your revenue needs to be at this so that you're on the trajectory of growth to hit your 3-year plan. Your profit needs to be this. Your measurables are these. Your goals for the year are these, right? So now you are setting 7 specific goals for your year that say, hey, look, I need to have these 7 things done. Don't do any less than 3, and don't do any more than 7. Okay. More than 7 is too overwhelming. Less than 3 is not enough. Okay. Set your goals for the year in order to make these numbers work. Okay. Now you're taking it a step further, and you're setting your quarterly goals, which we call rocks. Okay. Your future date. So this date, man, we just started quarter 4. So this future date is going to be December 31st, 2022, from now till the end of the year. I want my revenue to be this year. I want my profit to be this. I want my measurables to be these. And then in the next 90 days, no less than 3, no more than 7, I want these specific things to be done in order to hit my 90-day goal, which is going to put me on the trajectory to hit my 1-year plan. So now what you've done is you have broken out a 10-year plan all the way down into 90-day goals, 3 to 7 90-day goals that are going, if you hit those 90-day goals, will actually put you on the trajectory to hit your massive 10-year goal. That right now you'd think, man, that's impossible. But if you do the work of actually every day working at just your 90 days, get out of your head about 10 years. If you focus on your 10-year goals, you're going to get way too overwhelmed and you'll quit. If you focus on 1-year goals, you're going to get too overwhelmed and you're going to quit. But if you can break your 10-year, 3-year, 1-year goals down to 90 days, then it's manageable enough, it's bite-sized enough that you're like, you know what, I can actually do that. By December 31st, I can actually do these 5 things that I put on this list, right? And that's going to get you to your 10-year goal. And then an issues list, this is essentially going to be like a task list. This is going to be issues that have come up. What is keeping me from hitting these 90-day goals? And just write out any issues that come up on your mind and knock these issues out, right? So I'm going to go through that, but this is the 8 questions, the VTO document that helps strengthen that portion. Okay. I'm going to have to go back through this since I got out of it, but for vision, That is the 8 questions. The second tool that I use is called Shared by All. Essentially what that is that's a fancy way of saying every quarter, I'm going to have essentially a state of the company address where I'm going to tell everyone, hey, here are my new rocks. Here are my new goals for the next 90 days. So if you have anyone working with you, if you're not a solo agent, you need to make sure that that's communicated to your entire organization so that everyone's on the same page and they know, okay, our goal before December 31st is to do this. If it's just you, make sure that it's posted and communicated very well for yourself. Put it on your wall. Put it somewhere that you're going to see it all the time. Okay. The next one is people. So, we talk about having the right people, setting your core values in your mission statement so that you have the right people in the right seats. So here's the thing, when you hire someone, you can hire the right person and you can have them in the wrong seat, meaning that they fit your core values, they fit your culture, they're a good person, but they're just not good at the job. Maybe they weren't fit for the seat that you put them in. If that's the case, you keep them and you move them to another seat that fits their abilities, right? But if it's the other way around, if you have the wrong person in the right seat, they don't fit your core values, they don't fit your culture, they don't fit your vibe, but they're amazing at what they do, they have to go. Because it doesn't matter what seat you put them in, they can be the best ISA, but if they have a horrible attitude and they're killing culture, you have to hire and fire based on your core values. So getting the right people in the right seats is super important. And there's an accountability chart tool that I use that I can send you guys, where even if you're a solo agent, you can plan out what you want your business to look like in 10 years. And then you start filling people in on that chart, that accountability chart. It's like a flow chart, right? Moving on then to data. So there is a scorecard that I use, and I'm going to show you the scorecard once I flip out of this, and I'll show you exactly how that works. But essentially what this is it boils your business down to good, solid, hard data, right? Running your business on data rather than feelings. So what you're going to do is you're going to set 5, no less than 5, no more than 15 high-level numbers that are going to give you an absolute pulse on your business. So for you, it could be, all right, I need to hit this many listing appointments per quarter, and then break that down into per week. I need to hit this many buyer agency agreements. I need to get this many agency agreements signed, right, every week. In order to hit my goals. So that way, if you made a goal for the year and you say, hey, I want to sell 50 homes. Well, okay, but reverse engineer that and say, okay, if I'm going to sell 50 homes, how many first-time buyer consult meetings do I need to have? Right? Knowing that I'm only going to close a certain percentage of those, how many do I need to have so that I get X amount of buyer's agency agreements signed, so that I get X amount of deals done, right? You have to reverse engineer that. And that's all done with the scorecard, which I'll show you in a second. Okay. And then the second tool is measurables. So this is essentially a number that you, as the employee of your business, are going to track every single week, and that's measured on the scorecard. So again, listing agreements, it could be anything, but as a real estate agent, you want to track Google reviews. You might want to track how many people you dialed for that week, right, for prospecting. And then in the issues, there's a couple different tools that we can use. One is called the issues list, which you saw that issues list on the VTO document. This issues list is about creating a discipline, right, of things in your organization that need to be fixed and changed. And then if you do have a team, you open that issues list up to everyone in order for them to actually add things to your issues list, right? They have the ability to speak into what they think would help your business. If it's just you, then you're the only one contributing to the issues list, but it's essentially a glorified task list that is collaborative within your business that other people can contribute to, okay? And then I have IDS on here, which is an issue solving track. Essentially what it is when you have an issue, you identify what the issue is. You say, okay, is this a symptom? Or is there another root cause that's causing this, right? Because we don't want to deal with just the symptoms. We want to deal with the root cause. We discuss it. If you have a team, you discuss it. Hey, how are we going to fix this root cause? And then you solve it. IDS. It's simple, but it knocks out things at the root. Okay. And then in process, we have documented. So this is essentially saying, look, if you're going to do something more than once, if you have to duplicate something, if you have to do a job more than once, document it. Have a process, even if it's a simple Google document that says, all right, when I do this, I go here, I click here, I open this. If you document or you create a video, right, a screen share video of here's how you fill out an offer to purchase, whatever. It may be just you right now, but if you're hiring a buyer's agent and they're brand new out of school later on, guess what? You have a documented process on exactly how to do it. So now you've duplicated yourself and you have leveraged your time so that you can say, hey, look, here's a process. Here's a document showing how to do this. Here, when you go into showing time, here's how you create a route so that you're saving time and you're not just going to random addresses, right? Document those things. If you do it more than once, document it. It's going to save you so much time because you can duplicate your time later when you hire people, okay? And then FBA is just an acronym saying followed by all. So this is just ensuring that everyone in your organization that touches any one of those processes has been properly trained and that everyone follows it, right? There's nobody who is above the law. You say, hey, look, here's the process for doing this. We have it in this document where we have it in this video. Everyone follows this. Everyone goes by it. There's nobody who's above the law, okay? And then I'm going to wrap up here with the last two in Traction. So Traction, the way that we get our goals from a pie in the sky dream, bring it down to the ground and get traction and an action plan is by setting rocks. And rocks are goals for 90 days. So if you do not have no less than 3, no more than 7 goals from now until December 31st, 2022, you need to do that today. You need to look and say, okay, if I were to transplant myself to December 31st, and I were to look back, what are the 3 to 7 things that would have brought me closer to where I need to go? What are the 3 to 7 things that would move the needle the fastest if they were done? And then make those your rocks. And that's what you focus on for 90 days, right? And then you have a meeting pulse, which if you have 1 employee or more, you should be doing weekly meetings to make sure that you're on the same page. Make sure that everyone knows exactly what's going on. Use the same agenda every time. And you say, look, here are our rocks. This is a new week. Have we made progress on this rock or have we done nothing? If we're stuck, why are we stuck? Is there something that we need to put on the issues list so that we can get out, pull the root, get it done with, and start making traction on those rocks? So I know that's a lot of information, and I know that that's, it can be overwhelming, but here's the thing. The reason that we don't get traction on our goals, the reason why it's so easy to set goals, but it's not easy to actually complete them, is because one of these 6 components isn't as strong as it should be. And so I'm going to quickly flip over here and just show you setting goals, 3 simple things you can do. Again, 3 to 7 goals per quarter. This is your 90-day world, okay? Reassess and create new goals every 90 days. So when you get to December, a week or 2 before January, set goals for January, February, and March, right? Through the end of March, these are my new 3 to 7. Reassess them every 90 days. And then make sure that they are SMART goals. So you guys have heard about SMART goals. They're specific, they're measurable, they're attainable, right? They are related to what you're actually wanting to get done. It's not just some random goal. And then it's time bound. You have a due date. Your due date for your goals this quarter is December 31st. Make them specific. Don't just make them some random goal. Specific, measurable, attainable. All right. So that's kind of the framework with setting specific goals. I'm going to quickly show you, and then I'm going to open it up to questions, but I'm just going to quickly show you the accountability chart. This is just a flow chart that you can fill in, set the roles for what functions you would have. Essentially, what you do is you create the chart based on where you want to be in 10 years. So it may just be you right now, right here, and you may be filling all of these seats. You know, you've got photographer, you've got everything, listing agent, you've got
No,
showing agent.
it's not showing that one. It's just showing your setting goals page.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll switch it then. There we go. So
Yep.
this accountability, were you guys able to see the VTO when I was going through it?
Yeah.
This chart here? Okay. So the accountability chart, it may just be you, and you may be in every single seat right now, but in 10 years, you're going to take your name off of all of these and put new hires in, right? You have to set this chart though, even now. Even if you're the showing agent right now, and you're the listing agent, and you're the buyer's agent, and you're the closing coordinator, you need to list out all the functions, what you want to be in 10 years, and then you can start removing your name and putting other people's names in there as you hire. But this is an important tool. The scorecard, this is the weekly metrics that you're saying, okay, who's accountable to this? If it's just you, your name's going to be on all of them. Don't do any less than 5, don't do any more than 15. Put
We
what
can't
measurable.
see that one either, Phil. Sorry. I don't
Man.
know. I don't know why. It's so weird.
All right, we're going to try this. There, can you see it now?
Yep.
All right. So it may be your name in all of these. You put the measurable that you want, what your goal is. So this could be, all right, this is Phil. My measurable is I want 2 Google reviews. That's my goal, 2 Google reviews. So the measurable is Google reviews. My goal is 2. And then every week I want to hit that 2, right? And you just track it. 2, 2, 5, 7, and you can see if you're hitting your goal every single week in the quarter. Okay. I'm going to show you the rocks really quick. This is an easy document to put rocks. So you've got your 3 to 7 rocks essentially. So you can do more than 5 if you want to. If you have an organization, you can give other people rocks, but this is going to be your company rocks. All right, these are the 5 things that we need to do this quarter to move the needle, and who is accountable to them, right? And that's essentially what we do. And these documents can certainly help you with that. I also have a meeting agenda that I have for our brokerage that I can share with you, and you can kind of create it into your own. But essentially, this agenda never changes. It's always the same day at the same time, never changes. It always starts off with a segue. Everyone shares good news. We review our week. We go through our scorecard, and we look and we see if a metric has been off track for 3 straight weeks. We move it to the issues list. There's an issue. We review our rocks for the quarter and we see if we're on track or not. We do a headline review to see any good or bad feedback from customers or from agents. And then we review the to-do review for this week, and we see, okay, is everyone on the same page for where we need to go this week? And then we do our IDS system. We identify, discuss, and solve these issues, make sure we're getting to the root of the problem, not just putting out small fires. And then we conclude, we recap everything. And then I have everyone rate the meeting from a 1 to a 10. If the average of this meeting falls below an 8 ever, then that's on me. And I need to figure out a way to be more efficient with my time. I need to figure out a way to do a better job as a leader. And so that may be helpful as a template for anyone wanting that document. I can certainly do that. But I hope that those tools were practical enough for you to say, okay, look, the main point in all of this is you have to set a 10-year goal, and you have to break that down to 3 to 1 to 90 days, and then break those 90 days into an action plan to actually get those things done.
Awesome. That was so good. Thank you so much. I took so many notes. That was great. Does anybody have any questions for Phil from the whole presentation? Is there anything that anyone has a question on or a comment on, anything like that? Lee, you got anything? I'm sure you have
No, I
questions.
just thought it was great. I just think that breaking it down into, I mean, everyone says, oh, you know, they see somebody that does all this business and they think that they'll never get there. And by really, you know, breaking it down into the small 90 days is so important. I mean, it really is.
Mhm.
So, and I loved your meeting, because like we struggle with some of our team meetings, and I love that document you showed at the end too. I immediately thought that would really come and help for, a lot of the things that we do.
Awesome. And if anyone wants any of those documents, again, just reach out on social. I can email you the actual files so that you can have those.
Send them my way.
There you go.
Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Phil. I really appreciate you coming on today. And thank you everybody for joining. And then we'll be back next week with another one, another Modern Agent Blueprint on Tuesday at noon.
Hey, Phil, will we see you next week in Vegas?
I'll be in Vegas. I'll see you there.
Well, I'm definitely going to buy you a drink.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks. Looking forward to it. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
We
Bye, everyone.
appreciate you.
Bye, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.